Hi, this is Jan from EACG. In this session I want to show you how to set up a test scenario and how to run the test scenario. Actually, we decided to use test scenarios to have not just a simple monitoring solution, but being capable to address even complex monitoring and performance measurement requirements. So therefore you can use set up a test scenario, which is the canvas for every kind of test that we are going to do with this ascamso. To create a new one, you just go for the test scenarios tab, and within the create new scenarios field, enter a new meaningful scenario name. I will now use Education Trial 01 as a very meaningful name. Create the scenario, and to find it in my list, I give a couple of letters in the search box, and I see the scenario immediately popping up in the list. To configure the scenario, I choose the Edit button in the Action column. I can give a description for the scenario, which is something like demonstration scenario for training purposes. Then I can assign a default duration. Default duration for monitoring should be actually 0, which is an endless time. And we can define a repeat test interval, which means that every 5 seconds in this case, we will start a new test. And the test itself then will take the duration as it's mentioned here. We want to have the test appearing for all purposes now every second, and we want to last it for 50 milliseconds. Then next you can choose the kind of satellites you want to participate. This is a list of active satellites. The more satellites you have, the longer the list. You can choose and opt single satellites in and out by just activating or deactivating the control boxes before in the front. The selected edges you can enter as the systems that you want to monitor concerning the network connectivity. In this case, I want to have a network check between the test server 1 and the test server 5, as well as the test server 1 and the base control. Because the test server 1 is the one that I am very much concerned of, because we have had problems in the past. So the selected edge overview diagram helps me, even in complex environments, to understand what kind of connections are already configured and what not. Well, I made all the changes I need to do to have a scenario setting done. I save the changes, and I immediately can start a run. Trial for training. And as we do not want to do monitoring but just show you how it works, I will limit the time to 5 minutes now. And I start the new run. What happens is that in the we switch back to the dashboard immediately after starting a run. And what you see here is that the trial is actually executed, that 4 minutes and 40 seconds are left over for the test. And in the same time we see that we can stop the test whenever something is happening or we don't want it to continue. Also we have the messages appearing saying that it started. We see what kind of satellites are participating. We have the base control measured, we have the test server 5 and we have the test server 1 measured. And as we already see, there is something that's about the capacity. There are pretty bad situations in the capacity of this server. What we also see is that it seems that there is a kind of network problem between the test server 1 and the base control, as we don't see any edges appearing here. So it was very simple to set up the test scenario, and within a couple of seconds you were able to do the testing and execute the testing and assess the data. To get further information on how to assess report data that we are collecting, see our the next training session. So for now, I wish you have fun and enjoy using ascamso.